Well, good afternoon and welcome to the first Kickstart Your Learning of this school year. We have Misty Shea as our host and she'll take it away.
Oh, and I've already, had an exciting time. Welcome, everybody. We're excited you're here today for our Kickstart Your Learning. If you were one of the lucky ones, our 5th through 12th grade teachers who got a new device, or if you're just one of those really awesome people who got a Surface Book all on your own, welcome, because we didn't even scratch the surface of this device. We really want to delve into some of the really cool things you can do on your Surface. So just want to remind you, you get 1 EQ credit for coming today. So welcome. And I'm Misty Shea. I am a facilitator of educational technology. I have a couple of my coworkers here with me, my team. I have Christy Harold.
Hey guys.
Sarah Smith.
Hello, everybody.
Aaron Reister, who is our director. And then Laura Gonzalez is also here, another facilitator.
Hello.
We are very glad you're here.
All right, everyone, we're going to take care of a few pieces of business before we get started into the actual training. If you're in YouTube Live and you see a chat window on the right-hand side of your screen, just like this picture, you are good to go. If you don't see that chat window, we just need to complete a couple of steps because we use the chat to verify your presence during the YouTube Live. So Misty, if you'll head to the next slide. If you are in YouTube Live and you're logged in, you'll see your little profile icon in the top right. It might show as a blank picture with a broken picture icon because for some reason our icons aren't showing up in YouTube right now. But go ahead and click that icon that should be there and choose Create a Channel. That should be your first choice in the list of things that you can choose. Once you click Create a Channel, it's going to pop another window on top. It's going to verify your name. And at the bottom right, you're going to choose Create Channel. And then what you should see is the picture on the right-hand side that says, basically, welcome to your channel. So just those 2 quick, easy steps to get your channel going. After you do those 2 steps, you will need to either refresh your YouTube page or return to our Kickstart at www.kellerisd.net/kickstart. So if you're participating this evening or this afternoon for EQ credit, we would like you to note the following. Please watch the entire live event. Go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat window if you haven't already. I see a couple of you introducing yourselves. We're glad you're here. During the event, please at least use the chat box to make a comment or a question so that we know you were engaged during the training. And then at the end of the training, we'll give you a Google form link to let us know that you attended, and then we will add your credit to Eduforia after the fact. Give us about 2 days to do so. Also, in case you didn't know, during the rest of the time when we aren't having Kickstart Live, our past YouTube Kickstart events live on our channel at the same link you came to today.
Thank you so much, Christy. So today's agenda, like I said previously, we are going to delve deeper into our Surface because we didn't even scratch the surface. I don't know if you know me very well, but I love puns and I love anything dad jokes, any kind of puns, anything, the corniest jokes you can imagine. So you're welcome. Today is full of them. So first, we're going to turn it around every now and then. And if you didn't sing that song while you were thinking about this, I don't know, I might sing it later. So if you haven't turned your device, your tablet around yet, it is a tablet connected to a keyboard. So in the top right part of your keyboard, you'll see a little detach button. It looks like a little computer with an up arrow, and it's right next to the delete key in the top right corner. Then you'll be prompted to detach your screen. You'll give a little, it'll pop up a little green rectangle that says ready to detach. You can pull it off. I like to flip my screen around and then reattach and then close it. And let me show you a little video I did of this. So I pressed the button. It told me it was ready to detach. I detached it. I turned it around and then I reattached it. and then I just close it. And I like holding my Surface Book like this because the ribbing on the one side gives me something substantial to hold on to while I'm writing on it. Or I also like to lay it flat on a surface and write using my Surface Pen that way. So those are two of my favorite ways to utilize my my Surface while I'm holding it with the ribbing writing, or flat on a surface writing on it like that while I project. So turn it around every now and then. So the first application that I really want to talk to you about is something that comes on your device because you have a Windows device. And this is on any Windows device. And actually, I'm going to go into this a little later. Everybody in our district has a Microsoft account. So if you're in Keller ISD, you have a Microsoft account. And signing into your Microsoft account is just your Keller ISD email and your normal password. And so we have the online version of all of these applications that I'm going to talk about today. So not only do you can use it on your Surface Book device, the students can actually get to these on their Chromebooks or other devices because it's a web application. It's not limited to just one device. You could do it on a phone, you could do it on a tablet, you could do it on a Chromebook. So in order to access Whiteboard, on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, you're going to see a little stylus. It's right next to the date and timestamp. Then if you click on that, it opens a little window and it'll say full screen snip, or it'll give you the option to open Whiteboard. If it's the first time you've ever signed into Whiteboard or opened it, it might prompt you to log in. So like I said, you'll just log in with your Keller ISD email and your normal password. So let's head all over to Whiteboard and see some of the really cool things you can do. So when you have a Whiteboard open, you open it and it's going to prompt you. You'll know I'm signed in because here's my little picture over here. And then I'm just going to create a new whiteboard. Guys, you cannot understand how much I love this thing. It is amazing to project and do a multitude of things with it. I'm in my whiteboard and I'm going to show you around. So at the bottom down here are the pens. And so I have my stylus and I have my pens, and this is actually my favorite color to write in. It's like a space thing. And so I just click on whichever one. I can click on how thick or how thin I want my ink. And then of course, I'm just going to write. So I love Whiteboard. And so I'm just using my pen and I'm writing. Seriously, like I love this. This is my favorite. Then of course you can, use multitude of colors and do everything. And then of course, oh, I made a mistake. So the cool thing is I can flip my pen around and I can use my eraser like that. So right now I'm using the back of my back of my pen right there. Or you can clear the whole canvas, or I can lasso it and clear it that way. Well, there we go. But I love it. I can also use a ruler. So there's a ruler down here and I can pull it and I can change it and I can put it at whatever degree I want, and I can draw a line. See how it's drawing a straight 45-degree angle line, and I can move it. And now I'm at 0 and it's drawing. And believe me, I'm not drawing a straight line. It's doing it for me, thank heaven, because not my specialty here. And then I can come in here with another color. Oopsie, I told you, I'm not good at this. Draw a line. I'm going to delete that other. Here, turn it on. There you go. Anyway, so you have your ruler. So let's put that away. Lasso, you can lasso things. I can delete them. I can move them around. Like, oh, I didn't want that line there, so I'm going to move it around. I can edit it. I can change the color. I can do anything I want with it. Students are on Chromebooks. If they're on something that doesn't have only has a trackpad, I suggest using the text. So they would just click this little letter down here, and then they can start typing their answer, and answer your questions, or do things with you, or if you just wanted some notes. And then you just grab it and you pull it wherever you want it to be, the words to be. I can also do that with sticky notes. So I have sticky notes and I can drag them where I want to, and I can do reminders or whatever I want it to do with sticky notes. Some of my favorite features. I love the ability to insert an image. So I'm on Zoom, so I can't actually take an image right now of myself, but I could take a picture of myself or something that I'm working on and then add it to my whiteboard. Or I can also go to my library, my computer, and find an image that I've already done. So here's an image we made today. I can insert it. I can make it bigger. and of course, move it around, I guess. And then I can take my pen and I can write all over it. So I love, oh, yes, I totally just do that. Let's ignore it. Let's make a big exclamation point out of that. I don't know. I wanted hello to have a W on the end. Hello to Texas. No, I'm kidding. That has nothing to do with Texas. All right, but you can write all over your image. Can you imagine putting a map on this whiteboard and discussing how Lewis and Clark went, you know, and how they were traveling to the United States? Can you talk about manifest destiny, like all of different things? You could also do this with inserting an image of a math problem and writing all over it. The cool thing about this is you can also insert other things. So I can insert lists, I can insert a template of my choosing, I can insert stickers. So they have a bunch of really cute stickers. I love these little periodic stickers. And you can insert it and talk about it. I love PDF, guys. This is what's going to save the day. A lot of people last year would email me because they were having to pay for this PDF writer. And they were spending all this money paying for the ability to write on a PDF. And so Whiteboard allows you to insert a PDF, and then again, you can write all over it. So you can, good. Okay. So you can write all over it and you can move it around and do what you want and write notes all over it and explain to the kids why this number is smaller than that number and do all of that things on the PDF. So, and it's free. It's amazing. I seriously, like, I had so many teachers that needed the ability to write on a PDF last year and get it to their students. So the Whiteboard gives you that easy access right there. And then of course you can insert a Word document and a PowerPoint directly into a Whiteboard. And this is infinite. Like I could keep coming down here and writing, and I can keep coming down here, over here and writing, and keep coming. I can come over here and add an image or a sticky or whatever. So I could just keep going. It's endless, and I can pinch it and I can expand it and everything. So here's the caveat with continuing and making it too big. When you go to export it, one of the ways to export, and what I did is I came over here to the 3 lines. This is my settings, and one is to export. The only way it lets you export right now is an image. And when you export that image, what it's going to do is it's going to shrink it into a plane that, like, think about like an 8.5 size piece of paper. So it's going to shrink it pretty small. And so when your kids open it up, they're going to have to really pinch that image to make it bigger to see what it looks like. However, if you're using Microsoft OneNote, you can send it directly to their notes there. You can post it to Teams, you can send an email and all of that. So while I'm in my settings, I'm going to remind you how I got there. At the top right, I clicked on my 3 lines. And now, guys, the backgrounds make me so happy. So let's go purple. And I want dots. And then again, I can come in here and I can make those dots bigger or smaller or however I want. So let's say we're doing geometric shapes and I want my kids to connect the dots, except I struggle with my squares. So that's one thing you can do. There are so many different backgrounds that I can come in here and grab. So the graph, I can graph. So my graph is on there if I want to do graphing with the kids. There's just so many different options to choose a background. And you could just keep looking. I have diamonds. I have wide ruled notebook paper. I do like this when I'm taking notes with my students and I want to write on the line because I can't write straight. I'm going to show y'all that I know how to write hello. I can do that there. So the backgrounds are really awesome, and I can change the color. And again, I can just push it over and export it as an image or send it to my OneNote. I can post it to Teams or send an email. I like to export it as an image and then upload that image to my Canvas or my Google Classroom and put it on my online classroom, my learning management system. So that's just my favorite way to export it. So I just really, really, really enjoy Whiteboard. It is one of my favorite applications that comes with Windows 10 on the Microsoft, on your Surface device. And I love that we have our pens, and that allows us just to write all over it and then send those notes or send that activity to our kids. And one of the coolest features is I can invite people. So if I want to invite people to work with me, I'm going to try to invite, oh, there's Laura. Laura's here with us, so I can invite Laura. I can have it to where Laura's can edit. I can invite Christy, and I can invite them, and we can all be collaborating on this together. Be mindful again that our students might not have pens, and so it's harder, but they can, like I said, they can type, they can add images, they can have PDFs, they can add sticky notes, and that's all typing. So that's one way they can collaborate. And the cool thing is if someone came on here and started writing, you would see their name on there and it would show who's collaborating and who's adding what. So that's really nice. But again, love, love, love me some Whiteboard. It is one of my favorite things about one of my favorite applications on the Surface. And so you're going to see a couple of my tools. It's on this, it's on here just showing you what each one of them is and how to share, and then how to format the background and then export. So I love things that are put together, resources. Microsoft does a great job of telling you even more. So there's a Whiteboard help, and my friends are going to put these links into the chat. There's a whole YouTube devoted to Whiteboard. Thank you, Microsoft. And oh my goodness gracious, people, Microsoft is coming, it's giving Whiteboard an overhaul. And so a lot of really amazing features are coming. So that third link, what's coming up with Microsoft Whiteboard, it's some really great things that you're going to be able to do with Whiteboard. So definitely check it out. And so we're going to put those links in the chat so you can go check out some of these great resources. Because again, I'm just barely scratching the surface. Inking, it's not just for tattoos anymore. So your handy dandy pen allows you to ink or write. Microsoft calls it inking, allows you to write in any Microsoft application. So PowerPoint, Word, Excel, OneNote, and more. You can write or draw directly into it. So this is the little menu that you get when you're in Word, Excel, or PowerPoint or OneNote. It's at the top, and you click on the little draw thing right here. And when you click on the little draw, you get the draw options. One really cool thing I love to do, especially in PowerPoint and Word, is this ink to math. You write the math equation and it converts it into the normal text for you. And so that's really nice. And then again, the ink to shape. So I can attempt to draw a circle, but I love that it creates a circle for me because, oh my gosh, drawing a circle is so hard. I don't know about you, but it's really hard for me. One really amazing thing. So let's just say you just spent a whole lot of time taking notes or doing an entire equation, and you're almost done with the equation, and someone raises their hand. They're like, "Hey, Miss, I kind of lost you in the middle there. So watch this." They have a replay function. So let me play this video for you. So you're going to take your notes. You're writing them down. All I could think about was roses are red and violets are blue, and then you can rewrite it. All I did was take the little thing at the bottom and go reverse, reverse. And so it rewrote it, and so that you can go back and replay instead of having to erase everything you just did and rewrite from the beginning of the equation to show them how you did the equation from beginning to end. So it is amazing. So you can do this in Microsoft Word and PowerPoint and Excel, and it's just really cool that you can sit there and you can write and ink all over it, and then you have that playback option. So it's just really cool. Like I nerded out with that. So of course, I played and drew, and then of course, all I could think about was roses are red and violets are blue. So I won't finish that because I was a snarky little kid and it was never nice. But anyway, this is in everything that is Microsoft on your computer. So PowerPoint, Word, Excel. And the really cool thing is even if you have it built in Google, because we've been a Google workspace district for so long, you can actually, if you click on File, Download As, you can download any Google Slides presentation and any Google Docs presentation into a PowerPoint and Word doc. So you can take something you already have created, and you can download it onto your Surface and ink on it, ink all over it. See, I feel like a squid when I say that, or like maybe like an octopus, because don't they ink? Anyway, I wonder if that's what they were thinking about when they made this. Oh, okay, guys. I cannot tell you how much I love OneNote. So when COVID happened, I had some high school teachers get a hold of me, and they were like, "Misty, like, what do I do? Like, the kids don't have their stuff at home. They don't have their spirals. They did reading responses every day, and they were trying to make this work in a Google Slides Google Slides presentation. They were making interactive notebooks and Google Slides presentations. And the problem with this was, oh, Sam deleted that slide, or he said he never got it, or whatever." So I started like on my journey of how can I help these teachers, because they are struggling. They need that ability to have that 5-subject notebook in their classroom for note taking, for interaction, for just everything, for discovery. I was a huge person, an advocate when I was a teacher to do interactive notebooks. So I went on my hunt, and guys, OneNote. You might know OneNote as something you did, for your professional life, taking notes and keeping, your life organized. OneNote has, it's probably not even new. OneNote has something called Class Notebook, and because we all have Microsoft accounts, you have access to Class Notebook. And the cool thing about Class Notebook, just like any Microsoft application, it can be on any device. It can be on a tablet, on a computer, on a phone, Android or iOS, an iPad or an Android tablet. It doesn't matter. If you can connect to the internet and you can get to the web, you can access OneNote in Class Notebook. So these are just some pictures of some examples of some OneNotes. Whether you're using it just for sending notes to students, you're using it to go through the process of equations, or you're diagramming things, and there's so much more. So we're going to head over to my OneNote. So when you first create a OneNote, the cool thing is they kind of give you a welcome. So this is something that already came in here, and it kind of gave me an introduction to my OneNote, my Class Notebook, because I really didn't have an idea how this worked. And you really have to think of your OneNote as that spiral with those tabs, because essentially that's what you're seeing. Here are my tabs over here, and here are my pages in my spiral. And these are the actual pages that I'm writing on. So it's really great. And honestly, it's an amazing organization tool as well, because organization is one thing that I was just so grateful I had teachers teach me specifically before I, was released into the wild after high school. Just because, if you're not explicitly taught how to organize, it's just really like what works here, what works there, and you kind of do your own thing. So I love OneNote for that reason. So they give you all of these things. They tell you how to use OneNote, and they tell you how to try it out. It comes with all of this already built, but you can definitely change it for your needs. There's a collaboration space, which I would actually recommend when you first start using Class Notebook. I would turn off the collaboration space until you're very comfortable with OneNote in Class Notebook. That way, when you are ready for the kids to collaborate on a collaboration space together, you're kind of familiar with OneNote and Class Notebook, then you can open it back up. And that's something else I like about Class Notebook and OneNote, is it allows you to turn on and off certain pages that you want children to have access to. You have your content library. Think of this as your filing cabinet of where your kids would go to get notes for the class. So that's where you're going to store everything. They can see it, but they can't edit it. And then, of course, you have your teacher-only space that allows you to kind of pre-build, like if you want to build the whole year out because you are super motivated one day and you just want to stick it all into a OneNote Class Notebook while you can stick it in your teacher-only space. And then finally, you have the ability to add your students. And this is amazing. So this is a student that I've added. He's a test student. And I can see his handouts, his class notes, and you can actually name these whatever you want. So if you want them to be class notes, and you want them to be their personal notes, and you want quizzes on here, so you can actually name them whatever you want in your notebook. So you don't have to just name it whatever they want you to name it. I've just put a whole lot of information out at you, but it's just I love it. Like, it's just one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. So I created some content just to give you an example of some really cool things that OneNote can do. And if it'll load, we'll get to see it. Perfect. So one thing I really, really enjoy about OneNote is the ability, they keep partnering with all these people and they embed directly into OneNote. So your students don't have to go click out to another web browser or open another tab because it's in OneNote. So one of my favorite tools that I've taught about in the past is called Wakelet. And Wakelet is a curation tool. And the cool thing about Wakelet is you can put all these different resources and things into it. And I put every type of resource you could think of into my Wakelet, and other Wakelets and Google Docs and PDFs. It's all in here in one place for students to access. And again, they're not having to open another browser to go find all these resources. And then there are just some other tools that you can get to. And I found out all the tools that I can embed in OneNote. I seriously Googled tools that embed in OneNote, and they had the first hit was a Microsoft page that took me there. If you are ELA or reading, I had a lot of fun with this. Like, I embedded an image of a sonnet. I recorded myself saying the sonnet. Of course, you have to have a GIF of Shakespeare to be, or Hamlet, I'm sorry, to be and not to be. And then I went primary thinking, okay, so what if I did a table with the word, the picture, and then me reading the word cat and spelling the word cat. And then think about doing this in another language as well. That would be amazing for your bilingual classes. Then I inserted the Gift of the Magi PDF, the full PDF. And then students can come over here. You can write all over it because you have your Microsoft Pen, but students can come over here and type out their thoughts, their annotations. You could have writing prompts and they can respond to them. So it's just really cool. And again, this is just one of the many things you can do with it. Math, like I said earlier, you can ink to math. So I wrote, you can write equations and then you can circle them and then it creates the equation for you in text. So it converts, it writes and converts. Then things like Desmos and GeoGebra embed. So this is an example of a GeoGebra graph that's embedded. I didn't do anything fancy with it. I just want to embed it. So math, there's some really cool features. And a really cool feature, which you don't want to tell your children, it has the ability to work out the problems for you. So if you circle this and then you ask it to math for you. But no, really, you turn on math and it'll automatically solve the equations step by step for you and check your work. It is epic. Like, I love it. It's so cool. I'm sorry I've said the word love a million times, but I really do enjoy this. Science, just some ideas. You could put an image and have the students, write on it and decode it. Then you can put videos. You can give them things they need to do using tags. And you can insert a Microsoft form and give them a quiz right away. And then there's an app called PHET where you can embed simulations. This one is a simulation of gravity in the orbit, and they can play it directly in here. And then something called Wiser Me, where you can put all of your entire science lesson, and it's all in there, and they never ever have to get out of OneNote to do this entire thing. So it's really cool. If you don't know Wiser Me, you should definitely check it out. And again, I'm sure you're thinking, because y'all are specialists in your content area, and I'm just was trying to think of, like, if I was a science teacher, what would I do? So you could probably imagine it's just the astronomical things that you can do in OneNote, in Class Notebook. So history and social studies, I thought about the maps, writing on them and annotating original images. YouTube videos play directly from here. They don't have to click out of it. And again, you don't get all that extra noise of the videos that pop up after. They have something called Sketchfab, where you can put original 3D representations and things in museums. 3D models from museums and history is so amazing. It's epic. And there are a lot of museums that participate in this. And then one huge thing that I really enjoy about Class Notebook and OneNote is they have immersive reader embedded. So if you've typed any kind of text, or if there's anything in there that it can pick up, immersive reader will actually read it to the students. So think about the Google Read and Write, but it's directly made for Microsoft, and it embeds perfectly into Microsoft. And if I played this video for you, I would cry. I did it during KU, and I really did cry. It was crazy. But you can dictate, you can do audio, and there's a whole lot of things you can do to reach every single student. Oh my gosh. I, again, threw a lot at you. Just a reminder, or actually, I don't even think I said it. So to get to your Microsoft, to have access to your Microsoft account, you can go through KCloud. There is this app that looks like an orange circle. It's just Office 365. And then, or yours might be a square depending on what settings you have in your KCloud. And then there's a white square in the middle, that's Office. Or you can just go to office.com. And again, you're gonna sign in with your Keller IC email and your normal password. And then once you get into the dashboard, you see all your apps over here. Students have Word online, Excel, everything Microsoft they have online. And then there's OneNote, but then to get to Class Notebook, which was what I was really showing you today, you go to the little window at the bottom that looks broken, and then you can access Class Notebook. So again, Class Notebook is that digital binder that you would have had in the past that was that real spiral with the tab dividers. but it's digital and embeds everything in the world. Not everything in the world. You're going to get really mad if you're like, but it doesn't embed this, Misty. So it embeds a lot of really cool stuff though, and they keep adding to the list. And I do not get paid by Microsoft. However, I think I should after this. So let's petition on Twitter for Microsoft to pay me extra.
Okay, Misty, are you ready for some resources?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you guys for joining us. We don't ever want to leave you guys hanging because we know that you're going to want to continue the learning. Sometimes these Kickstart Your Learnings are just scratching the surface, Misty, to use your phrase. If you'll go ahead and click one more time, Misty, I want to show them the second graphic. Okay, if you guys want to know where all of our resources are, to me, this is the easiest way to get to them. If you go to KCloud and you just search EdTech KISD or even just EdTech, you will get all of our resources, and they're starting to fly up there for you. But on the left side of that screen is a resource called KIC. If you haven't seen it, you definitely will want to click on that once you go to KCloud and search for EdTech. KIC is all of our resources, and Misty has a page just for the Surface. So once you go to KIC, you would click on, do you want to show them that, or you want me to keep talking?
Yes, I will. Except, when you hide your bookmarks to be nice and kind.
The good thing is it's www.kellersd.net/KIC. You guys that are maybe jotting that down, it's really easy because it's just /KIC, and it stands for Keller Integration and Collaboration. And so when you get to that page, you're going to have a button for each of our supported apps, or our most supported apps. So Surface Book, or Surface, has its own little button, and you can click on that. And Misty has curated all of her resources there. You see everything you need to know. You see her handout there, and just all of the information about the whiteboard and OneNote, and so on and on. So this is what you're going to want to do if you want to keep on learning or get back to some of the things she said today. Some of those are slideshows that you can click through, and some of them are videos. So it's just it's great because it meets all your learning needs. And then also when you go to EdTech KISD on KCloud, you can find us on social media. I really want to ask you guys to follow us because we are pushing out all kinds of things all the time, every week. So if you're a Facebook user, Twitter user, Instagram user, or just like to watch YouTube videos to learn, we have it all. So just follow us at EdTech KISD. And again, I just can't reiterate it enough. Just find us on KCloud and search for EdTech. And then finally, we do have a page for parent support. That's what you see in the lower right corner. So all things EdTech can be found there.
Next week, we would really love for you to join us at our Kickstart, or not next week, next month in October 13th. We have our second Kickstart, and it's on Book Creator, and we are really excited for this tool. Christy or Sarah, what are the ins and outs of this tool that we're getting?
Oh my goodness. We are going to have access to an amazing tool called Book Creator. And I started looking at it years ago on just the iPad, and it has really bloomed over the last few years since I've looked at it. And we have an opportunity to use it for free over the next few months and on into the next, I don't know, but we're getting a long pilot, so it's going to be amazing. You can insert audio, you can insert text, and really it's cross-curricular, so you can use it for any curriculum, any grade level. I just think it's going to be great.
And then finally, we definitely want you to get a credit if you're in Keller IC and you would like EQ credit. You are going to go to this bit.ly/KICS, so Kickstart 2122. Please remember that bit.lys are case sensitive, so anything that's capital letter needs to be capitalized, and anything that is a lowercase letter needs to be lowercase. Is that a word? I just made it a word. It's a new word. But we are really happy you joined us today. Thank you for letting me talk at you and get really excited and say I love it a million times, but I really do enjoy it. And as always, you can always reach out to edtech@kelric.net, or reach out to any of us, and we would love to sit down with you and get any of these applications rolling, or just work with you to learn a little bit more about it. So I'm going to leave this up here, and I'm sure my lovely coworkers are putting it in the chat for you as well. We have a little bit of time while y'all are doing that. I didn't know if anybody had any questions while I was just going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny.
We do have one question, Misty. Do you know if the mouse can replace the pen, or can you use your finger on the whiteboard instead of the pen specifically?
Yes, I do find that I have to tell my computer that. So you have to, if your pen is paired, it doesn't like it. But if your pen is not paired, or there's a setting, I'll have to look on your computer where you're saying you're wanting to use your finger instead. That might be in settings under pen and stylus where you want the option to use your finger as well. But yes, there's a way, especially on a Surface Book, that you can use your finger. On an iPad, yes, you could definitely use your finger. That's a great question. All questions are great questions. Please make sure you fill out this in case you to get your EQ credit, and you'll see that come in the next week or so. You'll see that credit in your Eduphoria. And we are so grateful that you came today. So if there are not any other questions, we can't wait to see you in October.